Good afternoon, my subs, and each and everyone out there that's watching my videos. I know it has been long since I last posted any video on my channel. Guys, I just got demotivated with the fact that I went to South Coast in Durban. I was staying there for a week. I made enough time. I sacrificed my vacation to kind of like record as many episodes as I could. But unfortunately, guys, at the time I could only post one because the rest of those videos had many errors, a lot of mistakes. I actually didn't know how to work around all the issues that were there. That is why I decided to redo all the videos, guys, and I'm so sorry. It took me some time to get myself together again. I had to go through certain challenges like myself, being demotivated about everything that I'm doing and the fact that I'm getting to the top of, the conclusion where I actually wanted. This is now going to start, you know, to change the direction, to take a turn, because it is exactly where I wanted to start. But I thought I should give you like a trail from ever since everything started until now. You get what I mean? So that is the reason why I'm going to change my settings now. I'm going to do things way differently, and I'm going to start posting long videos because it's more nicer and more easier to post, in a long sequence, rather than doing these chop and pieces. Those bits and pieces doesn't work now at the, towards the end of my story. And this is where now I'm going to give out a warning to everyone that's watching to say, if you are weak emotionally, stay away. Or rather, bring with you a box full of tissues, because a lot of tears is going to drop. A lot of tears is going to drop, and some people are just going to feel so bad and sad at the same time. So this is going to be, guys, episode number 20 of my story, and it's going to be longer than the usual ones, but it's going to be nice and fun, but it's going to be painful as well. This is where I'm going to be taking you further from the moment where I informed you that our father, after seeing us or seeing me eating at my mom's place, while he was standing by the mountain just watching what I'm doing, he then decided to beat me up in the morning. And guys, just take note, if I make a mistake on either the years or my age, or maybe I miss the sequence, to avoid re-recording everything from the scratch, guys, I'll just try to maneuver around the issue that I encountered and just make sure that I deliver the story as I would like to deliver it to you. Please don't judge me, because that other reason why I ended up deleting other previous videos that I recorded, about 5 of them, was misalignment of times and dates and stuff. I just noticed that I mentioned the floods in Venda, and I linked them to the year 2000, whereas it was year 2001. I thought as much that, people that knows what actually happened would judge me and say I'm delivering a story that is not true. And my intention is to give you all the details of the story, whereas I definitely or really wanted to start off from where I am right now. I just thought I should give you the trail from the beginning until now. So what happened was that my father, um, after beating me up in the morning with a bench, and my arm was kind of like, I don't know whether it's broken because I didn't put cement on. I just couldn't use my arm for a couple of days. He then, we stayed few more days there at my great granny's place, and the place's name was Magoroni in Jerere. And what happened was my father realized that, he was just suffering for nothing. He and us were just suffering for nothing. He then decided to take us back eventually. Every time we got back to our mother's place, it was all nice and beautiful. Granny selling alcohol, we're seeing people, a lot of my role models were drunkards, guys, were the people that just, spend the whole time drinking. But, I was young, I was just, exposed to such characters. We went back home, guys, and everything was beautiful. I'm not hypothetically speaking, I'm telling you the truth. We stayed for a month or two, if not more. And then eventually things started again. Things didn't go so well between my mother and my father. And at that particular time, it was year 2001 when I was starting my grade 8 at Chala High School. And being a baby is like comes with a lot of challenges and some of the beautiful side of it. I was going to school, getting used to some people that are older than me, people that laughs, people that hates me, all different characters. And guess what, guys? Eventually, it just happened that it started raining heavily. It started raining very, very heavily. And guys, just take note. The reason why I don't speak much about my brother, my younger brother, is because everything was happening. He was young. I think my father had some remorse towards him. And me being at the high school or going to the high school, my brother was still at the primary school. So what would happen was primary school was very close to my home. Higher school or high school was a little bit further down. I had to like walk a couple of minutes to get to my high school. So everything that was starting to happen now, my brother was not involved. But everything that happened prior to me going to high school, my brother was involved indirectly so, but he was not or didn't get the same treatment as me based on the fact that maybe he was tiny, young, stuff like that. Cool. I'm going to school, coming back every day, and it just eventually happened that around February of 2001, it was raining nonstop. Every day, every night, the rain was just pouring. It was just, guys, pouring. For about more than 3 weeks, maybe, I'm just guessing, it was just raining. It just happened that when I was at school, 2001, take note, on the previous video that I recorded, I had to delete it because I said 2021 by mistake. It was 2001. And that mistake of 2021 made me make further mistakes towards or throughout other episodes. And that is the reason why I ended up deleting them. Okay, fine. 2001, I was at school. My father, being my father, out with his friends drinking, every day, Monday to Friday, my father would wake up and go drink. He was clean, super clean, take note, guys. But every time he would just wake up and go drink. That was his thing. That day, I don't know where he was drinking, but I knew that it's either I get him when I get back from school or I don't get him at all. Cool. That day, during the course of the day, we just had the bang. When we had the bang, we saw the water splashing up in the sky. I tried to get a lot of B-roll footages on the internet, but I'm not getting anything pre-2016. So I'll just show you when I do post-production what it looked like during that, season of floods. When we saw the water splashing up in the sky, school had to and then everybody just ran out of the school to go see what is happening. People shouting, people making noise, this and that, and we all ran to see the water. It was wet all over. We were walking through the fields. People's plants were swept away. Everything was just gone. We got to the bridge. As far as scared as I was, I remained at the very back end of the crowd because I couldn't, move too close to the water. Water was just flowing, guys. It was bad. I remember on that day there's a gentleman who decided he was over the road sorry, over the bridge. There's a road, the bridge. Then there's an area just over the bridge. It's called Matanda, Aralpasho, Arabali, those sides. That guy was somewhere that side, I think, but he lived this side where I also lived next to my school. Because the bridge fell like this, there was some pipes, water pipes that were hanging, and that guy just don't wanna call his name, that guy, what he did was he managed to grab a pipe, and he was crawling. The water was just underneath him, you know. He was crawling until he crossed, and people were clapping. People were so excited that this guy is a liver. And this other guy from where I was standing also said he wanted to cross the bridge because he cannot sleep out of his house. And take note, I didn't hear the statement. I only heard from the people that were very close to the scene. Me, I was standing right at the back. Guys, that guy tried to cross the bridge, and apparently he had a backpack on. And due to that, floods, everything is in that water. Cars, if there is, bottles, nappies, everything. But unfortunately, a piece of wood came and then just hooked on the school bag or the backpack, because the guy was coming from work, and he lost the grip, and then it was over, guys. He was taken like that by the water. And yes, but the story is not about these guys. I got back home. My father doesn't return. First day. Second day, my father doesn't return. Then my mother says, "You know what I think?" No, we don't know. I think your mother was the other side of the of the river. And what does that mean? It means he's trapped. He cannot come back. Guys, I'm sorry for the noise. I live next to the highway, to the free road, what do you call the main road, main street. There's taxis passing by. Yeah. My father doesn't return. After many days, I think 3 or 4 days, my father still doesn't return. Can you imagine the joy in my heart? Thinking that my father could have been swept away by that water. Seeing that we are free just for that particular week. I was so excited, and I wished my father was gone. But we remained. My mother hoping that he comes back. Me on the other side hoping he does not show up. I think after 5 days, early in the morning, my father walks in. I see him open the gate, and then he comes in. He was wearing a yellow jacket, a jacket that I hated. I still hate even now, because it reminded me of many, many things. Every time my mom was injured by my father, he was actually wearing the jacket. The jacket had even had blood stains. But my mother would wash those blood stains and try to make sure that, they all go away. But they were still there. I could still notice them. I could still see them. Somebody who doesn't know the history about the jacket wouldn't notice anything. But I could see. He came in, and he just separated with his friend. Apparently, when the bridge fell, they were drinking over the river, over the bridge, the other side. I don't know whether they were drinking Amatiza, Harabali, or Matanda, Aralpasho, wherever, but they were drinking in one of those areas. And that's why he got trapped, because when he tried to return, the bridge had fallen. So now, because they were all feeling cold, the other gentleman had to run home to get some warmth, either fire, blankets, or whatsoever. When my father saw me the first time, his first words were, "Hey, Futek, come here. I ran towards him. I was so scared now. Because the way I was scared of my father, I even thought he could read my mind. I thought all my bad wishes towards him, he knows about them. It was that bad, guys. When he called me to come, he wanted to send me to buy him cigarette. I can't remember what actually happened because my granny used to sell cigarette, but I don't know whether my grandmother didn't have cigarette or what, but he wanted to send me to the shop. I ran and I came back, and that guy was giving everybody hard time. My mother, my granny, everyone that was around was giving everyone hard time, as in like we ordered the bridge to fall. When I came back, he was just swearing at me. I gave him the cigarette he smoked. He wanted alcohol. I couldn't go buy alcohol because I was young. Like, he just wanted to disrupt each and everything or each and everyone. He slept for a bit, and then he woke up. He got food and everything. He ate, and I think later on his friend came. So when the friend came, they, as usual, got some drinks. I can't remember whether they went to go buy themselves or whether the other gentleman brought the alcohol with, but I try to write as much as possible on my computer. As I'm going along, I'm reading as well. I'm just trying to remind myself. The friend was cool. The friend was a very humble person. I loved that gentleman. He was a mechanic, and recently, when I bought my first car, he even fixed my car for free. I loved the man. So when the man came, as they were drinking, he started telling the stories as he got tipsy. What my father did when they were there, and what happened actually. So what happened was that the bridge fell. They couldn't cross. They had to walk around. They had to follow the river. Because my father used to live by the mountains long ago when he was young. The name of the place was called Chendeuru. And they used to walk long distances. They'll go to Hamsekwa, they'll go far. So my father knew where the river ends, or I don't know whether it even ends, but I've never been there. But he managed to walk around the river, to follow the river where it's going, walk around, come back by the mountains. You get what I mean? So that gentleman, Mr. I nearly called his name, but my father's friend, he's normal, is deceased now. He was telling us the story. He told me or us that when they eventually decided to walk around the mountains, it was difficult for him, but my father was the strongest person in that situation. I think there were 2 or 3. And my father made them sleep on top of the trees. My father made them eat the roots of the plants for survival purposes. And he went to an extra mile to even shoot an animal so they can eat. So they had to make a plan to eat, because I think they managed to, whether they were, even though they were wet, I think they managed to hide the matches or something, or put in a plastic and tie it. Yeah, but they made plans. He told me that when they were on top of the mountains, on top of the trees while sleeping, animals would come. I think he made mention of hyenas and stuff like, your warthogs, the wild pig. They said both those animals came. They wanted to attack them. The gentleman said he was crying. He didn't know what to do. But my father kept on saying, hey, when are you so stupid? Why would you do that? Why would you be a weak man? Such kind of things. And, I mean, it is what it is. It is what happened. And then the gentleman told us that they struggled until they actually eventually made it through home. And they took about 4 nights sleeping in the woods, in the mountains, because they were looking for areas of the mountains where they cannot sink down, where there's rocks. So they were holding onto the rocks to walk, and they were walking as slowly as possible. but they still managed to make fire, I think, once when they got a cave or something. Yeah, but that's exactly what the gentleman told us when he managed to tell us the story. So I think after a few days, yeah, after a few days, um, me going to school, and as young as I am, I came across a guy. Um, that guy, I don't know why he hated me because he didn't know much about me, but that guy uh, tried to bully me at school. And when he tried to bully me at school, I was so scared. I called my cousin, someone very older than me. I heard he was strong, he could protect me, to go fight the guy that needed to bully me. But eventually, that guy lost the fight for me, and I had to run home. And then I didn't want to go to school again. So the following day, I had to go to school. When I go to school, the guy made it so difficult again for me, and then I had to run again, to a point where he found me uh, carrying a plastic full of green chilies. My friend's father was a farmer. He had planted a lot of chilies. So because I was with my friend going to the fields, I said to him, "Look, my father loves chilies, man. Let me just grab some if you won't be in trouble." And he said, "No, don't worry. You can get as much as you can." I got the chilies, put them in a plastic. The same guy that was bullying me at school, I found him sitting smoking something around the bushes somewhere. He called us, the three of us, and then he ordered us to eat all those green chilies. And the other one took a bite, and then that guy said, "No, you fine, you can go." And then the other one sprinted, just ran, and then he was left with me. And he said he think I am full of trouble, and he wanted me to finish the entire plastic of chilies. And that's when I told him, "No, I'm not going to do that." And he slapped me so badly. So slapping me so badly, I cried. I really did cry. And he was sitting with two other gentlemen who are currently now in prison. I think they're doing life sentences. I don't know where that guy who slapped me is. So me going home with the plastic full of chilies and a lot of tears, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to report that guy. And I reported the guy. I'll tell you what happened on the next episode, which is going to be episode number 21. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. Guys, please subscribe. I need subscribers. It helps me. It helps me have confidence.